Jacqui-lee Pryce for Shadowboxruk UK. I'm here at the Fisher versus Allen 2 presser with Mr. Eddie Hearn. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's been a busy day, but we're going to wrap up here and head to New York for the presser tomorrow, and then back to Copper Box for a great night on Saturday.
Is it that much of a turnaround, that quick a turnaround?
Yeah. We got the press conference tomorrow for July 12th, Ring Magazine show, and then back on the plane Friday, land on Saturday, fight day 5K. See you there. And then the Copper Box.
Never.
So, yeah, looking forward to it.
Today, at the press conference earlier, I mean, you were a bit on point. There were some jokes flying. The happy ending joke. You were on point today.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I had a week off last week, not from work, but just I don't know. I kind of sometimes you're going every single week, and like the press conferences, they're never a chore, but it's like you are just a little bit tired. And I had a good rest last week, and I was actually excited. I'm excited by that fight, and I'm also excited and just about the relationship with Queensberry in general, because it's enjoyable. There's banter, we get on well, we're making great fights, and that's a great fight. So I genuinely believe Justice Huni will win that fight, and I think both guys are quite respectful. Justice isn't the biggest talker, so it's good sometimes to have a little bit of light-hearted banter, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm talking about Justice Huni, should I say. Listen, Fabio Wardley, he's very unorthodox. I think he's surprised a lot of people with his career so far. Justice, though, what an absolute quality fighter. What an absolute quality fighter. Do you think that the way to beat Fabio Wardley is not to box him, because we've seen people try and box him before? Does Justice need to get in there, rough him up, and
I don't know, because I think Fabio fights very well. I think he's a sharp puncher.
Yeah.
And he's quite good in the exchanges, and he's not afraid to let his hands go. What Justice has got that Fabio hasn't faced before is great movement, good feet, good speed, angles, and that's what I think is going to cause Fabio the problems in there. This fight for Justice is all about his lateral movement and actually making him miss and making him pay, because Fabio hasn't really beaten styles like that. And the reality is that Fabio's only ever beaten Fraser Clark and David Adelaide, and I'm not saying they're not great wins, but they're not. They're not world-class fighters. They're just not.
Yeah.
I mean, David Adelaide, British level, and he's improving. I like David Adelaide. Fraser Clark never beaten anybody, right? And he's a good fighter, great amateur and all that, but you can't call them world-class heavyweights. Now, Justice has only ever beaten Andrew Tabiti and Lorena, which are really blown-up cruiserweights, but they're still good wins. But neither guy has really got a notable world-class win on their resume. And that's why it's such a great fight, because you keep getting these situations, and we saw it last week, where fighters are getting a lot of money to kind of go in and that they know the game. And Canelo's a good example of that. He's very smart. Of course, like people say, Canelo never really got involved against Skull. Well, look, he's going, why would I get involved? Give me my money, thank you very much. Yeah. I'll be back for Crawford later. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas these guys, like Huni and Wardley, they'll go out in front of 20,000 at Portman Road, and they'll have a great fight, a bit like these. And the same with Ben Eubank. They haven't yet been, through that process where they're going, like when Canelo boxed Triple G for the third time, it was almost like, hey,
we
those
made
first
an
two
agreement.
were tough, weren't they? So let's just it wasn't, but do you know what I'm saying? It was like, and that's why Wardley Huni is such a great fight, because it will be real, and it will be explosive, and it will be dramatic, and it will be nervous, and there'll be tension, because they've not experienced that yet.
I think Huni culturally is not a big talker. There's something about their culture that they're not disrespectful, and I think that people might underestimate the fact that he's not much of a talker, and he didn't really people were prodding and poking him today, and he just wasn't playing, was he?
No, and he spoke well, but he's not really much of a talker, and that's why I thought I'd have a little go and just have a bit of fun up there. And he's a good fighter. It's a big moment for him, but he's a very, very talented fighter.
Just quickly about Fisher, Allen too. A lot of people are saying that they thought that Allen just kind of picked the post the last time out. I mean, with hindsight, have you had a look? And what are your thoughts on it?
So on the night, I thought that Dave Allen won the fight by 1 point. I don't see how he could have won the fight by any more than 1 point. Because on the night, Johnny Fisher won the first 4 rounds and round 10. When I watch back round 6, it's a very close round. And that, for me, is the swing round. So you either give it the 6th round to Johnny Fisher and he wins by a point, or you give the 6th round to Dave Allen and he wins by a point. right? So that's how close the fight was. What I think was unfair to Johnny Fisher was this whole narrative of, oh my God, what a robbery. Like, there's absolutely no doubt he won the first 4 and 10. No doubt. So he's won 5 rounds. So how's it a robbery? You know, now, if you think he won the other 5 rounds clear, with the knockdown, he wins by a point. So, again, it's all irrelevant, but I think more people thought Dave Allen won than Johnny Fisher.
To be fair...
That's all right.
Jamie Moore just said the same thing about it not being a robbery,
no,
to be fair.
because when you score the round... Just because a guy goes down and he's just lost the round. You know, Dave Allen lost at least 5 rounds in a 10-round fight. But he got a knockdown. So... we'll see what happens Saturday. I
just want to ask you very quickly, Jake Paul seems to be leading the way in terms of the female game at the minute. How have you allowed that to happen and nicking your fighters?
I mean, look, we've just signed Tia Ayton, who I think is, you know, with all due respect to 99% of world champions in women's boxing, I'm much more excited about Tia Ayton. And we've got another major female signing coming up. It's going to shock a lot of people. So we're going nowhere in women's boxing in terms of our exit, but it has got to work with us. And the problem is with women's boxing and it's the same with men's boxing, when they're coming through, you know, it works for everybody. When they win titles, it's those defences in the middle that don't really work for the business. Now, the big fights, no problem at all. Maya Ryan, Taylor Serrano, you know, all this kind of stuff. It's like the standard defences and the mandatories that just aren't working. And, you know, you get to a level, like I think Ellie Scottney was a good example. We've done such a brilliant job for Ellie, and she was fantastic. We kind of not took her as far as we could go, but we're really struggling to make a unification fight for the money that both champions want. Now, MVP strategy shifts and they want to invest in women's boxing. What a great opportunity for her. And I'm always like that. You go. Do you know what I mean? If we're not the place for you and we can't provide you with the opportunities, you go. But we're heavily invested in women's boxing. Like I said, you know, we're signing fighters. I mean, you wait, you know.
I know about
her. I've never seen anything like it.
She's a quality fighter.
People are going to be so shocked when they see her fight. And you talk about a superstar. Her story, her background of everything she's done from that age, it's incredible.
I know her from the amateurs. I don't know her, but I know everything about her from the amateurs. And isn't her management Peter? Is it Brian Peters?
Katie Taylor's man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So she seems to me like she's got not just the skill set in the ring. She's got all the little packages outside. Do you know what I mean?
Look, she can talk well. She looks great. But the reality is, she's a natural born fighter. She's a savage. And she could change the game again for women's boxing.
I'm looking forward to seeing her journey. Thanks ever so much for giving me your time. Thank you.